Good morning. So I have today off. I'm going to try to do another one of those my ideal day kind of thing. Today is Labor Day, so it's a little bit different than just taking a random day off. So it'll be more like an extended weekend. I still have to do some chores and stuff like that. Got up around 7:30 and took care of all my animals. Yeah, it's 9:16. Let me show you what I've been up to. One of the things that I want to do before the end of the year is do some sketches to represent each book that I've read this year, which is kind of a huge task since I've read 139. So I might not do it for every single book, but maybe just like the broader books. I've already decided for the manga series, I'm just going to do it for the whole series and not each volume. Here's what I have. Oh, down here I did breasts and eggs, so try to censor that even though it's art. I just did this one this morning, a little Wilbur doing his backflip. I love Wilbur. That book makes me so sad. Just thinking about Wilbur makes me so sad. So I did the little Wilbur sketch, and then I did all of these. So this is the Joshua Tree from Orange World. Then we have like a moss magnified. I was gonna do like a microscope since gathering moss literally inspired me to get a microscope, but I just decided to do like the structure of moss under a microscope, and it kind of looks a lot like corn, so I don't know if I'm happy with that. And then for sourdough, I have sourdough starter and then a cracked egg to represent the robotics aspect of it. A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking. I have the sentient sourdough starter. I mean, both of these are kind of sentient sourdough starters, so. And then House of Salt and Sorrows, I have like disheveled dancing shoes. I did that while I listened to The Chamber of Secrets in Spanish because I've been reading Harry Potter in Spanish. Keeping up my listening comprehension, apparently. That is my day so far. Now let's go out and garden. Just came in from gardening. Now I'm really warm. I have to take off this sweatshirt. I did quite a lot of cleanup. My dog is drinking water. I did get 2 books in the mail, so let me show them to you. Recently, I've been reading some books that are quite short. I bought a bunch of books that I read recently. I think I got 8 to 11 books that I read recently that I quite liked and wanted to own. And a handful of those, maybe 4, were like very, very short. And one of those is Several People Are Typing. So I got that. This is basically like a Teams chat. Oh, it's Slack. It's basically a chat at a workplace and like stuff happens. Quite liked this one. And then Lemon. This is a Korean book where a young woman, like a teenage like a high schooler, is killed, and there's like a mystery around that. I didn't think that I would like this, but I did. I didn't know what the plot was at all when I picked it out. I think I picked it out just from like a photograph of the book from Instagram. These are the 2 that I got today. I'm like still super out of breath. I gotta take my dog out. I will see you soon. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. Today is going to be an ideal day reading vlog. I'm so excited for it. I've taken a day off of work and I'm gonna do whatever I want, and that is going to include some reading. The first thing that I was doing this morning was drinking some coffee and working on these doodles. This spread completed, and now I just worked on this spread here. So I have some footage for that to share. I feel like the books that I was drawing from today were a little bit difficult to turn into like an icon. Like 2 of them were prison books. One was Walls and Bars by Eugene V. Debs, and he was in prison in, I think, the 1920s. So I did like a 1920s prison shirt. And then the other prison book was Our Prison's Obsolete by Angela Y. Davis. So I just did a picture of her, even though she's really not like the subject in Our Prison's Obsolete. It's a very informative book about the prison system. Okay, so I did something really exciting yesterday, and I worked on a full storyboard and thumbnail of a children's book that I want to write. I did my sketches as well, which these are going to be hard to see, but sketches. And then I went ahead and I did some messy watercolors for scanning in to do some final artwork on my computer or on my tablet. So that is something I'm going to work on today. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do right now, and I think it's going to have to start with breakfast. I've had 1 cup of coffee. This is my 2nd cup of coffee. It's got cinnamon in it because I've recently remembered how absolutely delicious it is to have a dash of cinnamon in your coffee. I think I might make some oatmeal with, I got these apples from a coworker that have like little wormholes in them because they're from her tree. So I'm going to cut up the apple, put some cinnamon in a pan, and make some oatmeal with that. It's supposed to rain today, so it's going to be a cozy day. Oh, I also recently cut my hair. I cut my hair on Saturday, and I think I want to bleach it today, but we shall see. I've been listening to the biography of X this morning. I am not finding this book like something that I really want to read. Like, I'm like super excited to get back into it, but once I start reading it, I'm like, wow, this is really interesting, but it's not like calling to me. I think it's really well done though, so we'll see what my final thoughts are at the end. Yeah, good girl. Hello. So I've just finished editing a video about mental health and reading. That took way longer than I expected. I also put in a load of laundry, which I have to transfer over to the dryer. So I will be doing that now, and then figuring out what I'm going to be doing after that. Hello, I would like to read these 3 books. Perhaps snuggle this boy, who looks a little bit cuddly. Oh, this is a bit of a weird camera angle. Hello. So there's this book, Who Moved My Cheese? This book, which is Raggedy Chan, and this book here, which is Homegrown. All 3 of these are borrowed from coworkers, so I would like to read all 3 of these today so that I can return them when I go back to work tomorrow. I think that might be nice for you to snuggle. Hello, I just finished reading this book, Who Moved My Cheese, which is all about change and adapting to change. I thought it was alright, but I think I do have some differences in opinion, or maybe things that I thought were a little bit, like, not as nuanced as maybe they should be. This book places a lot of responsibility on individuals to help themselves, and I understand that sometimes you're in a situation where that is your only option, but I don't really like some of the messaging. Change is inevitable. Being open to and accepting of change will help you as a person. There's a lot of conversation in here about fear. I feel like it's all so much easier to say this and do this when you have a safety net and when you aren't actually risking that much. And sometimes when change happens, it ruins your livelihood, for example. You have nothing left, and so you have to adapt. So there's that situation, but there's also the situation of you're in a position where you think it might be on the decline, or you're not happy or something like that, and so you want to take a risk to change your situation. And in those instances, I think it comes from a place of privilege to be able to take on the change. Like, you're not living paycheck to paycheck with a family and kids that you have to take care of. That's kind of what it felt like to me. It doesn't really get rid of the whole message, but that's kind of the vibe that I was getting. Because this is not my copy, I can't dog ear it, so I had to take pictures of quotes. Ha kept thinking about what he could gain instead of what he was losing. He wondered why he had always thought that a change would lead to something worse. Now he realized that change could lead to something better. In this instance, yes, change can lead to something better, but it can also lead to something worse, which I feel like is not really addressed. In the book, it's a story about 2 mice and 2 little mice-sized people who are in a maze where there's cheese. They're like trying to find the cheese. In this case, the guy's wandering around trying to find cheese because the cheese ran out and he's really hungry, and he like finds enough cheese to be able to live off of, and then he finds like this huge cache of cheese. But what if the people supplying the cheese stop supplying the cheese, and then you're wandering around and then you die? Like, that's what I kept thinking, which I understand that there's like the element of fear in that, but there's also just reality. Like, some choices for you to that you make where you're like, I'm gonna change, do not lead to good things. You know what I mean? But I guess it's that, like, being really adaptable, and you're like, okay, well, that's not working out, so let me try something new, and then that's not working out, let me try something new, and then eventually something might work out. He used to believe that cheese should never be moved and that change wasn't right. Now he realized it was natural for change to continually occur whether you expect it or not. Change could surprise you only if you didn't expect it and weren't looking for it. I agree with this line. I think that's a good line. Then he laughed and realized that he had started to change as soon as he had learned to laugh at himself and what he had been doing wrong. He realized the fastest way to change is to laugh at your own folly, and then you can let go and quickly move on. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know. I guess if you like feel like you're a fuddy-duddy stuck in the mud, and then you're like, oh, ha ha ha, I was so wrong. I don't know if that's like the main motivator for people to change, right? Some people never change and they pay a price for it. I see people like him in my medical practice. They feel entitled to their cheese. They feel like victims when it's taken away and blame others. They get sicker than people who let go and move on. I just thought this lacked a lot of empathy. Like the idea that you're like working in medicine and you see people who have been stricken ill suddenly and they're not taking it well because they're not changing and adapting to the situation, and you are like making fun of them for being victims. That rubbed me the wrong way, where I think people deserve a little bit of time to be upset at a bad hand. I feel like people deserve a time to be upset if change happens and they didn't want it. I think that's fine, personally. And this author does not seem to think that that's fine. Yes, you can really be positive about everything, and you can think, oh my god, this cancer has given me such an opportunity for blah blah blah. But like sometimes things just suck, right? Like, anyway. So I'm leaving this with a lot of mixed feelings, is how I'll put it. It felt like a very capitalist book, to be perfectly honest. Like they're talking about like how you need to be adapting in your business, otherwise you're going to be left behind. I don't like it. I wish it had more natural analogies, like, you know, the changing of the seasons. Change is inevitable and you have to deal with it. That's how I feel. And you can choose to look at it in a positive way and you'll probably feel better about it. But I don't really fault people for dealing with it any way that they deal with it, to be perfectly honest. That is how I feel. Hello! I've just bleached my hair. It's a little patchy, but I think it might look okay in like a day or two. Clover has been whining so much today, and every time I take her out, she's a little goblin. I don't know. I think she's upset with the weather. I'm a little bit upset with the weather because it's not raining, but it's cloudy. So I'm just kind of sad. I don't know. Today's not really shaping up the way that I want it to. I have been reading Biography of X while I was bleaching my hair and such, and it's quite good, but it's definitely not happy. I wouldn't say it's bringing me joy. I'm going to do some drawing now, some work on that children's book, and I think I might switch to listening to Venko, and hopefully that has like a brighter tone where I can get a little pick-me-up or something from that. I also started reading Raggedy Chan, and I got through the first chapter, and so I set it aside to then read further chapters. It's about immigration, like a Chinese immigrant, and also being half Chinese and half American, I suppose. I have been working on this children's book. I have a few pages to share. We have our first page. The art style, compared to my other books that I've worked on, is using watercolor and so this uses scanned in watercolors, if you can tell. And then I have some really sketchy digital art over that. And that is the vibe that I'm going for. I'm going for like a really relaxed, sketchy vibe. The story is really silly, and it's about a messy little cat, so I kind of want to have a messy little art style. I think I like it. I love some of the cat poses and expressions. I think are very cute. Now I'm up to page 5 would be the next page that I would start on. I'm going to take Clover out. I think it's about 4. Let me see. It's about 4 p.m. now, so my day's nearly over. Anyway, I'm gonna put this away and take out my little doggy, who's so excited. I don't know where the day's gone. I feel like I've been working all day. Which is not great for a day off, you know? Hello. Gordon's eating his dinner. Isn't he cute? Sorry, I haven't really looked at my hair for a while. It's, I mostly just want to avoid it being, like, embarrassing to go to work like this. Let me see if it looks okay in a ponytail, because this is, like, really spotty for some reason. I really tried. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know. We might have to do some creative, like, pins or something. I don't know. It's like I have pre-made roots. Sorry guys, I've gotten distracted. I just laid down for about an hour. I didn't even nap. I just kind of watched short videos. And I don't know. I don't feel super great right now. So, my husband is coming home with burritos. I'm so excited. I kind of have a bit of a headache. I don't know. I really wished it had just rained all day so that it wouldn't feel like a waste of a day in terms of like, sorry, that sounds crazy, but I feel like I would rather, if it's gonna be overcast, that it rain. This side looks a little funky. It's just so hard to tell when you're bleaching your hair what you've missed. I definitely did a lot today. I just don't feel like it was a good day. And that's disappointing to me because I was so looking forward to having a day to do whatever I wanted, and I'm not even enjoying it. I don't know how to deal with that because last time I did this, I had such a great day. And this time, I feel like I had so many things that I wanted to do. At least I did my laundry. I had a really good Sunday though. And I probably wouldn't have had a really good Sunday if I didn't have today off. So I think we just transferred our good day to a different day. And today is just kind of a okay day. And that's fine. I also read that stupid cheese book. I feel like now I'm like, I don't even want to read at all. Anyway, I think I'm just gonna work on my children's book because that's making me happy. So I think I'm gonna do that and then eat a burrito, and that's it. Okay, bye.